Hey skiers, it's Bob with SkiEssentials.com. Welcome to our 2026 ski test. Got a Nordica Enforcer 104 for you today. This ski returns structurally unchanged from last year. We get a little bit of a graphic update for 2026, but this thing carries forward the updates that we got for 2025 into this next year. From a construction perspective, that means that we get a new wood core of poplar and beech. We also get 2 full sheets of Titanal. It is narrowed a little bit from full, so just 2 millimeters into the center on either side, so just slightly taking a little bit away from the sides. I would say unnoticeable in terms of edge grip and power. And then they use a pulse core underfoot, so an elastomer material in the middle of the ski, and between the thicker wood core, the 2 sheets of metal, and that pulse core, this is about as solid, stable, and damp as a ski gets. The fact that it's 104 millimeters underfoot puts it on the burly side of the spectrum. For whatever reason, this thing just feels like one of the better turning and carving 104 skis out there. It is incredibly rewarding. That said, you got to put in the effort to get that reward. It's not an easy ski. There are lighter and more mobile options for sure, for skiers that don't want to put in the work, or even if you don't want to put in the work all the time. Like, I like skiing this thing sometimes. I think it would be difficult for it to be a one and only unless you really like that sort of ultimate power and stability, because this does rank very high on that scale. And a lot of it has to do with that weight and that stiffness. This is the 185. It's a lot of ski. It is 2,213 grams on the scale, so it's got some heft to it for sure. And then it also has a pretty stiff flex. So that makes it kind of hard to get the entirety of the side cut, 19 meter turn radius. It does feel like it wants to come across the fall line really, really strongly. So you got to be prepared for that. Having, appropriately flexing and fitting boots is a big help here. I couldn't imagine being on a softer boot or a boot that's too big and having your foot kind of wiggle around in that shell before it gets to, transmit energy to the snow. I think that that's kind of a sign that this is truly an expert level ski, is it does require many other parts and pieces of the whole to come together, whether it's ski skill and style, proper boot fit and flex, or even proper terrain. Having some wider open areas is super helpful on this 104, because it does like to run and provide plenty of power and stability. Shape-wise, it is 104, so it's a little bit more meant for softer snow, which is kind of a hard pill to swallow given that it performs so well on groomed terrain and in a carved turn. When you get it in the woods, the tighter they are, the harder it is to control. It definitely likes crud, chop, wind-blown snow, anything that you basically don't want to deal with. This ski will pick up the slack and handle it for you. 136, 104, 126, again, resulting in a 19 meter turn radius. Some tip and tail rocker, not a ton. The old 104 free was more dramatic in the tail rocker, a little bit more twin tip oriented. It would be very difficult to convince someone that this is now a twin tip, or more of a twin tip than it used to be. It's definitely more in the directional charger side of the spectrum, in my opinion. Nice positive camber underfoot. Again, pretty stiff, so you gotta push pretty hard to get through that level. And then from a taper perspective, it is a little bit rounder, more gradual. There's nothing too hooky or square about it. It is rounder in nature, and that is going to at least help with adventurous skiing, off trail, softer snow. And it can do that, but the fact that it handles firmer snow, groomers, and smoother terrain so well is just, it's hard to overlook. And anytime you're in variable conditions or terrain, this is a very aggressive ski for sure. We do have some feedback. Stowe local legend Chris Strong notes, I had a lot of fun on this one. It cruised smoothly through medium and long length turns and felt surfy in soft conditions. I would think that this ski would excel at all terrains except icy conditions. The softer the snow, the more fun it was. The ability to bash through the spring crud piles was great. Yeah, and we did have it in spring snow, so I'd be curious to see if Chris would have something similar to say once he gets it on kind of normal Mount Mansfield hard pack conditions, because I found it to be really good in that and outperforms most other skis at this width in icy conditions and terrain. But sure, given full on hard pack, something narrower is clearly going to bite in better. But for the width, tough to beat this Enforcer 104. So make sure you check this thing out here at SkiEssentials.com, and we will see you out there on the hill. Bye.